talking about Jay-Z's new hairstyle. I don't know if they're talking about the hairstyle more than the music, but I kind of feel like, I don't know, it might be running neck and neck. When everyone saw Jay-Z come out with his afro, people went crazy. They're like, first of all, where did the wigs go? Can you even comb wigs down? Is it that easy to comb them down? Or like, just what's going on here? And then, not to mention some of the lyrics. I hear that it was intense. He touched topics on a lot of things that he hasn't covered for years. He mentioned on a lot of people that he hasn't mentioned on for years. So we're gonna go ahead and get into that. Now, if you've ever seen a person with dreadlocks or wigs, it's definitely a very permanent hairstyle. It is the process of someone locking their hair up and maintaining that style every week. So they're basically, you know, like rolling the hair, and the hair eventually becomes like tangled into each other, and it becomes locked into place. So it's a very beautiful hairstyle, very natural hairstyle. However, it's not something that you can easily manipulate or take down and just, you know, put into, you know, something where it's like the hair is like free flowing, right? So the hair is, you know, is locked into place. Now, a lot of people were wondering, can you comb wigs down like that? Or can you comb dreadlocks down at all like that? And the answer, short and simple, is yes.
To safely remove your locks without damaging your hair, you will need some conditioner, water, a pintail comb, and an all-purpose styling comb. One lock at a time. Once you've coated your locks, you want to use your pintail comb to gently start unraveling your locks, starting from the ends. It took me roughly 20 to 25 minutes to unravel one lock at a time.
So there are, you know, other videos floating around online where people have had locks for years and years, and they're able to comb the hair out. Now, just my honest opinion, I do think that you will naturally have some damage when you comb out locks. So you have to condition the hair really good. You're going to end up having to trim it. It may even be a process after the initial takedown. So you may have to go back in and trim it again. Or depending on how your locks were maintained, maybe you may have some breakage. So I would think something like maybe interlocking would not be as easy to take down, because you're like flipping the hair into each other. So it's more like a wheel, right? And then versus a regular lock, it's kind of like going like this. So they're twisting the hair, putting the clips on, putting you under the dryer and putting it in place. Then it also depends on how long you were retwisting. So it's healthier, the more time that you have in between, the healthier. So if you're retwisting every week, then you're gonna naturally have more damage, or you may even lose some locks, versus a person that may retwist every 2 months or every 3 months. I've seen people even go as far as 6 months. I don't think that people should do too long, because you still wanna make sure that it's locking and it's not just like, you know, left open, right? So when he combed the wigs out, it seemed like he like had a full head of hair. And it's like, I don't want to exactly say that it's not possible that it could not be his, because his wigs were pretty thick. So maybe some of his length was kind of like, you know, like bunched up into that one wig, versus you having like a lock that's a little bit skinnier, but it's longer. So he could have, with his wigs were like this, you know, like about this thick. So he could have, you know, like picked it out, and then it's just, you have all of this extra hair, and it comes out to a pretty decent length. Then a part of me was kind of like, well, is this like an AI thing, or is this even some hair pieces or something like that? I wouldn't even say that that's totally impossible, because celebrities have been known to wear enhancement and hair pieces over the years, and it's becoming more of a popular thing that we're seeing men wear hair pieces or wear things to thicken up the hair. So that is very interesting, and I think a lot of us would like to know that. And for whatever reason, I'm not sure why people were like going crazy about his hair. And the little clip that I had, I think that was funny. Of course, that wasn't a real clip. That was, you know, like AI, because it takes a lot longer to take down locks or wigs. It's not just gonna go that fast, right? So yeah, so that was pretty interesting, just to see him with this full head of hair on stage rapping, which I thought it looked nice, and it looked like him. Some people had other opinions, like Dame Dash spoke on it a little bit. So he spoke on not just the hair, but also the response to his rap. And basically he was saying that he feels like after all this time that Jay-Z is coming out and making raps because he is in need of money. It's a more of a financial move versus a creative or purely a talent move. Like, this is something that I want to do.
You think that's a wig? A lot of people saying it's real, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's still funny. But logically, when I see people cut their dreads, they don't usually have an afro the next day. But either way, that hair is funny. Like I said, he better come out in a jersey and a baseball hat. You better do that, bro. Don't play with him. You better do that. Do what I said. He has to go back to what he started doing. Look like he got to hit the street again. Looks like he got to pitch nickels again. That's what it looks like. We would be like, he ain't gonna never say nothing until he's broke. I hope he's not broke. It must be embarrassing for him to now have to be on that stage and still have to work at that age, because he has to. For him to have to come outside 20 years later, I just felt kind of like embarrassed for him a little bit. I couldn't even hear the lyrics because the hairstyle was crazy. And I was like, why would they let him come outside like that? That shit is funny. And there should be jokes for that hairstyle. Jay, when you do Yankee Stadium, I need you to get a Caesar. I need you to put the Yankee hat on and do the thing to the side. That's what we want to see.
So he was saying he feels like that basically Jay needs the money right now, and he had to like jump on stage after all these years and just bring up stuff that he really wasn't touching on or he hadn't thought about in years. And then he went on to say that he just felt like this look was not Jay. He felt like Jay is more of the low fade, old New York that we're used to seeing with the cap, and that the afro just really did not fit him. He felt like it was just like, why would he go up on stage this way? He thought that he looked crazy, and I really didn't think the same thing. Now, and we've seen Dame on camera with some of his beauty hiccups or image hiccups or whatever you want to call it, because there was the video floating around with the whole teeth thing where he was talking and the teeth just, they went their own direction. So, there was that video, but that's neither here nor there. He says that he felt like Jay-Z shouldn't have wore the hair. He felt like the afro did not fit him, but just all in all, like, I liked it. I thought it was definitely different to see Jay-Z with his hair out versus the wigs. But I feel like they've always kind of like been in the media for this hair thing almost. So it's like when you look at Beyonce's hair, she has more of a softer hair texture. Even if you look at her videos where she's talking about her product Creed, and she is, I don't want to say that she's mixed exactly, but like from that Creole side or whatever that is, or something that they have like in their bloodline, you can kind of tell. Like, her hair is not as kinky coily as Jay-Z's. It's more like more of like a looser wave. Very pretty, but like a loose wave, and her hair does grow long. So she's done videos showing her hair how she takes care of her hair, how she maintains her hair. I've heard reviews about her hairline also. Some people say that it's pretty good, that it's worth, you get bang for your buck. And some people are like, it's okay. And if you remember years back when Blue Ivy was on the way, and once Blue Ivy got here, it was this whole thing about her hair. So her hair wasn't like done properly, it wasn't done neat, and people weren't giving their opinions left and right. Even with her being a child, people still came out on the internet, they still talked and they gave their opinions about what they thought. And some opinions were very direct on how they felt about her hair, as far as the texture, as far as the maintenance, and some opinions were, overly opinionated to the point where it was just kind of like, okay, Blue is to the age now where she can, search the internet and she can see certain things and even see the opinions that people had years ago about her hair when she was first born. And I hope that, that she's able to just kind of look over that and look past that and just really be in a place of acceptance with her hair and happy with what she has. So that's something that's important for all of us. Just, no matter what kind of hair you have, whether it's 4C, whether it's 3C, whether it's kinky, coily, curly, if it's yours, celebrate what God gave you and be happy with the beauty that he's blessed you with, because he definitely has blessed us all with a certain level of beauty, or whatever features that he has designed for us. He's blessed us with that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts below. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Please do whatever you can to support the channel. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Until next time, love, peace, and blessings.
I said, you know I ain't write this, I ain't no writer. Chatty patty teeth falling out, cause he ain't no biter. Kanye anti-Semitic, kinetic, debit, and credit. Can't call him crazy round me, better 1-800-COLLECT-IT. Questlove introduced me to Jaguar right in her 5 head. So for that, I cut off his afro and put it on my head.